Let's say you have a good trading idea before the open. You're sitting around in the morning with this terrific trade idea, but you're not sure how to execute that idea like a professional trader. You worry that your good ideas are being wasted because you don't know how to execute the trade properly. You could be making much more in your good ideas with some guidance from professional traders. Well, in this video, we walk through the progression of a good trade idea in the morning, particularly in Sonos, stock symbol SONO, into one good trade, executed in real time. So stick around and get a sneak peek into our professional and proprietary trading room discussion of a trade that we made on our desk that started with one good idea in the morning that we turned into one really good trade in real time. Hi, I'm Mike Bellafiore, managing partner of SMB Capital, a proprietary trading firm located in Midtown Manhattan, and I'm also the author of the trading classic, One Good Trade and the Playbook. Click our subscribe button so you don't miss any of our trading videos produced for the trading community. Now in this video, you're going to learn how to turn one good trade idea in the morning into a professional trade. What variables confirm your trade idea when it's actually right, how to consider risk reward in a trade like a pro, where we took profits and why in this particular trade, where we added size to our trading position and why. Please pay special attention to how we are thinking through this trade. Learning how a pro trader thinks through a trade like we do is your biggest reward. If you want to learn 3 more real-world setups that our traders use, including the simple setup that we teach all of our new traders and the setup that turned one of our traders into a 7-figure big money earner, check out the free webinar that we're currently running. Just go ahead and click this link to sign up for this free webinar right now. You're going to learn more in a couple of hours from this trading workshop than from years of online education. All right, so this is a good example of having a good morning idea. You guys actually had a really good morning idea this morning to think about the Sonos. To me, this is a second day play. To me, this is an IPO trade. One of the things that obviously is really clear for this, and this is the first time you guys have seen this, is, hey, what happens when a stock gets below its IPO price? 15 was the IPO price for SONO, Sonos. Yesterday, we had a news catalyst in it that Amazon may be trying to take them out, trying to enter their business. If you guys go back and look at other stocks that have been hit when Amazon is entering their space, I mean, one of the more familiar ones, one of the ones that stands out to me is when Amazon started to talk about entering in the grocery space and go take a look at the grocery stocks and what happened to them. And so, Amazon's stepping into a new space. They're stepping into Sonos' space. That gets announced, and what happens to the stock? It trades down really poorly. And if you take a look at a 2-day chart for this, yesterday it was really, really weak. Didn't quite get below that $15, but if you take a look at that 2-day chart, you're just basically seeing selling, selling, selling. And that selling is steadily lower, 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 and that's what a weak stock looks like. One of the things that I like to test and think about for second day plays is the company has a news catalyst day one. How does it actually finish on that day one? When it's finishing in the bottom 20% of a particularly large down move, that's something that you guys should talk to Quant Support about, hear about testing. As a discretionary trader, that ought to come up on your alerts. We've got a news catalyst, trades real poorly on day one, finishes towards the low of the day. That's a stock I really want to be focusing on for a second day play, particularly on the short side. And in this case, if we were to get below 15, we would get a really good just second day play as it is, because it finished so poorly and because it had that news catalyst and traded off so much. And then getting below a really important technical level, 15, the IPO price. Stocks should not trade below their IPO prices. That's a terrible thing. And when stocks trade below their IPO prices, where should they go? They should go find support somewhere lower. And you should be able to see that. Okay, so today, we've got that idea. I've got a second day play, I've got a news catalyst trade. If this thing can get below 15, that's just a thesis though, that's just an idea. That's just a good idea. And then you want to think about making that into a trade. And so I talked about this morning, which is it opened up a little bit above 15 by 15.10. And then, the first candle that we see on the open, the first move on the open, they just smash the bid at 15 and they take it out. And you're sitting there, you didn't really have enough time. It was so fast, you didn't really have enough time to sort of get it anywhere other than initially 80 cents, maybe in the 70s. And so we've got this idea that, hey, this is going to work, but now we actually have to put a trade on. And we talked about this a little bit before. A trade idea confirmed is price plus volume plus time. It's not just price. So we've got price in this case, but we don't have the other two variables. And so we started poking around, shorted a little bit, 84 cents, shorted a little, 14.84, started shorting a little bit, 14.89, starting hiding some, 14.83, and was trying to sell the stock up towards 15 at 14.97 to get real good risk-reward trades, but they just weren't printing to us up there. And so we're sitting there, we're nibbling because we only have price on our side. We only have price on our side. We want price, time, and volume to really get a little bit bigger. And then we get time that does start to get on our side because, what happens after that first down move? It goes to 75 cents, they accumulate it, doesn't really get above 85 cents, but it's 75 cents by 85 cents, 75 cents by 85 cents, and then it makes a new low. And when it makes a new low, you literally are watching it tick low of day. 71 was low a day before that, 1471. So it makes a lower high, takes out the new low, and you've got now a momentum add. When you're thinking about adding to the position, hitting the bids at 70 cents for a momentum trade is where you want to press it, because now you've got a little bit more time on your side, right? That first range that developed below 15, what happened? Lower high, new low, hit the bids, play it a little bit momentum, add to your swing that you've started at 84, 83, 89, didn't get it at 97, add to your swing there. And so that's how I traded the stock. And I actually wasn't watching it that closely. One of you guys told me that it was below 14. Did you tell me it was below 14? I was obviously watching TLRY, which has been interesting. But I did say to myself, I want to take some off into 14. That was sort of my target. I'm not going to get into how I derive that target, but you should come up with rules as to how you ought to trade out of something. To me, 1350 was going to be as far as it can go, and I wanted to take profits into 14. And I used the whole number. That was one of the reasons. I'm thinking about ATR. I'm thinking about visually that 14 was a level for me as well, because when you alerted me to the fact that it was below 14, I tried to get out of some. I think I got out of a little bit, but then it was 50 cents higher. So whenever something is weak and then pushes away from a price that much, 50 cents in a $15 stock is a lot. That's a level. And so I took off most of my position when it finally came back down to that 14 level. And you can see also a little bit of capitulation there. It makes that new wick below 14. The volume increases, has that huge capitulation candle, has that wick candle, and then pushes up all the way up towards VWAP again. I'm going to use 14 as a little bit of an exit. And we've said this before, which is you should be able to see where you ought to be able to get out. You should be able to see that value buying support areas where you need to be able to get out. In this stock, do we have the whole day for this, Justin? So what's the bottom? Where do we get to in the bottom of this today?
1350.
Oh, we did get to 1350. So I sometimes it's better to be lucky than. So I ended up taking my last profits at in front of 1353 is where I took it. That was just my price target for what I wanted to, and we'll talk more about price exits as we go along. And then I reversed a little bit from there, went up a little bit higher, and closed okay. And you get a big volume push right there, a big green candle after it hit that 1350. So look, this was a really great idea. I mean, it was really good preparation by you guys. But you got to add on how you actually trade it as a professional trader. You've got to add on getting in and controlling your risk. You've got to understand price, time, volume are the three variables as they go on that can help you to get a little bit bigger. You want to look for that lower high. You want to look for the new low. You want to use those as areas to get in below that 15 bucks. And good trade. And so I think for now the trade's a watch, and we made the trade. Like it's over with. It went from $15 to $13.50. If it wants to go up and show us a new trade, fine, but we're sort of done. Look, there are traders. One of the traders on our desk actually focuses specifically on IPOs and secondaries, and so this can be a really large part of your P&L if you get pretty good at it, because the technical levels are so important. I mean, look at that move that stock made when it got below 15. That's not an accident. We're not cherry picking this. There's no support. Below the IPO price, it's got to go find new support. That's why we said in the AM meeting, if it got below there, that'd be really a good idea. And add on to the fact that you had a news catalyst in it, right? You've got a negative news catalyst, a significant negative. You don't want Amazon coming after you. And then we had the lower high in the particular trade. So we had started to get the intraday price action that was confirming that we were right. So really good example here of you guys coming up with a good idea and then us turning it into a good trade. Go ahead and click our subscribe button so you don't miss any of our trading videos produced for the trading community. And please add your feedback in the comment section for what videos you'd like for us to produce next and what you found helpful from this video. From all of us at SMB, trade well.